These men are drug-dealing bouncers.
As soon as you snort it, 5 minutes later, bong.
This man is the drugs trafficker who supplies them. They control the drugs trade in an English city. They thought they were untouchable, until World in Action went undercover.
There's a lot of money to be earned here, mate. It's a whispering city, mate. It's a bad city to do it in. Coppers know nothing that nobody told them. Nothing. If everyone kept that shut, coppers they wouldn't have a clue. They're useless. Everyone kept it shut, mate. We'd all make a lot more money.
Britain's drug trade is big, big business. Drug barons turn over millions of pounds a year, but the police appear powerless to stop them.
It is desperately difficult to get the evidence against those people because they've learned through time they have a hands-off approach. It's very difficult to put their hands onto the drugs. It's very difficult to put them at the drug supply chain.
This man is one of them. From Nottingham, Wayne Hardy runs a network that dominates the drug trade in the Midlands, and he controls it from top to bottom. From the big deals which bring the drug shipments into town, down to the network of men who sell his merchandise in the pubs and clubs, Wayne Hardy is in control. But how does he get away with it? Tonight and next week, World in Action goes undercover to expose the untouchables. My name is Donal McIntyre, and I'm a World in Action reporter. But for the last 11 months, I've been working undercover using a false identity. I've been living in Nottingham as Tony Hearns, the bouncer, the would-be drug dealer, the lowlife. I came to Nottingham not because it had a bad reputation for drugs, but because it didn't. It's well known what goes on in London, Manchester and Liverpool, where the drugs trade has sparked deadly gang wars. But how bad are things in the dozens of ordinary towns and cities around the country? Ordinary cities like Nottingham, where ordinary people go peacefully about ordinary, respectable lives. Nottingham is typically Middle England, but how much does Middle England know of what goes on in its midst? Where there is a drugs trade, pubs and clubs are the main point of sale, and there's a large and ready market. So it's in the pubs and clubs that men selling drugs have to reveal themselves. Doormen or bouncers are supposed to be in the front line, keeping out drugs and violence. They must see what goes on. This was the world I wanted to get into. As well as a new identity, I came armed with hidden recording equipment. From now on, every move would be secretly filmed. When bouncers are not on the doors, chances are you'll find them working out. Many are keen bodybuilders, so I joined a couple of city-centred gyms. I already knew that if I really wanted to know about drugs, there was one man I should get to know. Wayne Hardy. Amongst Nottingham's bouncers, he is spoken of with fear and respect. Everybody knows how he makes a living, but no one talks too loudly about it. I concentrated on the gym where he worked out, and I targeted him. Within a few weeks, we were on first-name terms. I was his training partner and his confidant.
Mrs. Man, the knows I mean, you. It's still cagey, man. You can't for a well, really on, innit?
I also learned that if anyone could fix me up with a job as a bouncer, Wayne could. He doesn't control the doorman himself, but he knows a man who does. Wayne is friendly with this man, Chris Bailey. They train in the same gym.
Wayne has had a very good physique when he used to compete.
Chris Bailey runs a company called Door Care, and he's been in the bouncer business for years. He supplies doormen to 75% of Nottingham's city centre pubs.
Big chunky legs, big chunky arms, good frame. Yeah, excellent.
But it's not only Nottingham. Bailey provides hundreds of bouncers for pubs and clubs all over the Midlands and the north of England.
Oh, any chance to have a word with Chris yet?
Chris this morning, I told him he wanted a bit of work like. He said he'll see what he's like. He said there should be something coming up with this year though.
Brilliant.
Chris Bailey has a manager who handles the daily running of the business, who hands out the jobs and pays the wages. He's called Gordon McLean.
Hello. Yes.
If bouncers are in the front line against drugs in Nottingham, Gordon McLean is the man who has to make sure they are suitable for the job. But I could have been a convicted drugs dealer many times over for all he cared. He just handed me a job, no questions asked.
This is Steroid. Nice to meet you.
If you see somebody on the door with a conviction that you know has got a conviction under the Data Protection Act, unless you're cleared and unless there are guidelines, you can't actually give those details to the employer.
There's a need for legislation which would require training, the vetting of individuals who are employed, and the regulation of those who employ them. It's not good enough to look only at part of the picture.
I began work here at the Imperial, a noisy, popular but well-behaved city centre disco pub. Weekend nights in Nottingham are boisterous affairs, and the city centre heaves with young people out for a good time. The Imperial is as lively a pub as any, and its 4 doormen are there to keep the peace. But as they warmed to me and talked to me as one of their own, I found out that some of the bouncers were more likely to start trouble than drunken customers. The reason? Some of the doormen themselves are taking illegal steroids. They take them to help with their bodybuilding, but it's well known that steroids make you aggressive, irritable and violent.
You get a lot of bodybuilders always just standing with steroids. So do I'm just on 2 shots of test, I'm flipping sound. But last night, I nearly went last night for that woman. The trainer looked at me and went, no, I'm a head strike. I started going like that. Why can't you just go? You're finding me up front, don't you?
A couple of weeks later, I was asked to work here. Beetroot is one of the most popular nightclubs in the city. It's been voted Nightclub of the Year. This is Lee Tomlinson, its head doorman. He tells me how he behaves when he's taking testosterone.
You know you're losing it when you start to lose your temper, but the thing is, you're kind of enjoying it in a way, and you're turning yourself up. I know, that's what I do. You do the same, you're winding yourself up. You're getting up on your temper. Good night, mate, good night. Good night. Yeah. You're arguing with Mrs. and she's winding up. I look at her sometimes, but for a split second, I can see we're going demolishing her, and I have to turn off, you know what I mean? I always try not to get violent with her. Try. Sometimes I shove her about, but I don't, not hard. But I never hit her. Never. But sometimes I'll look, you know what I mean? Sometimes when you're in bed and it touches your skin and you don't like it, you know what I mean? You know you're falling out, it's like bad air between.
Bad vibe, yeah.
The skin touches your cream jacket and just near out of bed and boot her out of bed, you know what I mean? You can't, can you? You can't do it, you got to get a grip, haven't you?
It wasn't long before I discovered how the doormen were supplied with their mood-changing chemicals. They were delivered to them at work.
You sorted. Tony told you. I had that time. Take up there.
Meet Richard, the local steroid delivery man.
That's your Winstrol.
Excellent.
Normal Winstrol. That's the sick. If you need anything else, I'll give you a number now to get me on. Right, I can give you a mobile number.
Okay. Where do you work for Gordon Storeman?
I used to do it here for ages. And
Yeah.
Sacked. Did Tony tell you?
No.
I battered someone. I had to move. Well, I didn't get sacked, I had to move.
Yeah. But the real shock came when I discovered the identity of one of the main men further up the chain of supply. It was none other than Gordon McLean. Remember him? He's the man who hands out the door jobs on behalf of Chris Bailey.
I've got some books for the gear if you've got the gear with you.
I'm having problems with it. The law's changing in September. becoming illegal to possess. Now, no great shakes will still be valid.
This man who promises peace and protection to the city's pubs is the very man who supplies the drugs which can turn his doormen into raging bulls. He doesn't care, nor does he care about the casualties.
This stuff went on the black market and was picked up. There's 5 people died so far, and the police are onto it. Well, obviously, because this is this is a major type. People died now.
In Nottingham? Or
one
around?
The closest is Leicester. I mean, you still want it, don't you?
Yeah,
It's all-
absolutely. The reason why I came down is because I have the books now. There's 50 quid there, right?
Yeah, it's more than enough. That's it.
Okay,
It's
well,
45.
no problem. Whatever.
You've got to give it a balance. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. We'll see you Friday, Saturday night. Yes. Take care, mate.
Doormen are supposed to protect the public. Their job is to sort out trouble, control who comes onto the premises and keep out drug dealers. Pub and club owners put their faith in them to keep their premises drug-free. That faith is sometimes misplaced. I was soon to find that the problem wasn't just that some bouncers were abusing steroids. The rot at the Imperial went much deeper. If you wanted to buy drugs, the place to ask was at the door.
Fantastic. You got the gear tonight, do you?
Let
me,
calm me down a bit, lads, yeah?
Let me take it in the loo. It's going to loo and let me take it off you. You have it with you.
What do you want, all 5?
Yeah, I want 40 quid's worth. How much
No, you got 40 quid worth here. 5 to 7. You've got a gram in each.
Yeah. How much have we got there?
You've got 5 there.
Yeah. Okay.
That little bit in the bottom, I'm going to have that tonight.
Okay.
That's just what didn't make the tablet.
Yeah. Excellent. There's
5.
40.
Go and check them, they're all full as well.
Okay. I'm just going.
Lee had sold me what turned out to be amphetamines, known as speed or whiz, a Class A drug. Like steroids, it's not exactly the ideal drug for doormen to be taking. It can cause hyperactivity and paranoia, and can be seriously addictive. And he wasn't just selling to me.
This lad come up to me and he goes, I know I might be asking a daft question, but have you got any speed on there? He goes, yeah, you are. And he goes, because you thought I was a dancer. I goes, I'm not the doorman here, but if I was, you'd be hooked out, shut you out and nick your gear off, yeah? Anyway, I made a fortune. I sold the rest of that store.
You're joking.
So I mean, 20 off you, 30 off them. That paid for my gear already. Plus, these capsules and that.
But over at Beetroot, the nightclub of the year, where Lee Tomlinson was in charge of the doors, I soon learned that it wasn't just a question of the odd doorman selling the odd wrap of speed. Control of the doors there was used to control who could and who could not sell drugs on the premises.
Have you turned over anybody in there recently at all?
Wait till the students get back. They come back this week, there'll be a few then, a few fresh ones, you know what I mean? If people get the score and they don't get scored.
Well, you'll know them, will you?
Yeah, we just sniff them out. All the bar staff sniff them out for us, you know what I mean?
And what you do then, they'll be terrified, won't they?
Yeah, we just bring them down to the office. We always give them an option. Either give us everything, money, everything, or we call the police, you know what I mean? That's it, innit?
They give you everything, absolutely.
Everything. And they're happy to do so.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Sometimes you get cocky. We soon bring them down. We start putting your hands in pants, looking at their arsehole and that. They don't like that, do they? You've got to do this thing, haven't you?
But it wasn't always a question of turning the dealers over. Sometimes agreement could be reached with the dealers. On another night, Lee told me how it worked.
Some of the guys that come up and somebody before they go in, the sensible guys, and say, guys, can I have a word? And throw you $100.
Yeah. Of course, it's a way to do business, isn't it? Because they're safe, do you know what I mean? And you're getting an air out of it. But they don't realise that. That's what amazes me, do you know what I mean, Tony? Because I've took some money off people, thick wads, you know what I mean, and bagged a couple of 40 and 50s, you know what I mean, about $1 grand, and the chains and what have you. And it's just a simple way. It's all right, if I come in, mate, there's that for you, and everything's safe, isn't it? Taking the on me, really. If you're making money on your stuff, you want to cut, don't you?
If you want to know more about ecstasy, call the National Drugs Helpline, free and in confidence.
Although I'd only been on the doors a few weeks, I'd already seen bouncers wired on steroids who might explode with rage at any moment. I'd bought hard drugs from the men supposed to protect the licensed premises from dealers. And I'd learned how control of the doors could be used to control who was allowed to deal in drugs. But what surprised me most was just how easy it all was.
There is only one answer, and it's what we've been lobbying the Home Office for in excess of 5 years, and that is there must be a statutory scheme which is, through legislation, insisting that all door staff employed on all licensed premises must be registered locally with the police, must participate in local training schemes, and must have a no criminal record that is offensive to the job that they will be doing.
I think a lot more has got to be done by the higher authorities. It can't be left up to individuals like myself or even some of the major companies. They can't be expected to police their own doors. We need help and guidance from higher up. We need the police to tell us who we can and who we can't employ.
I decided to conduct an experiment over a few nights. I visited city centre clubs and pubs at random to try and buy drugs on the doors. First, I called on the men at the door of Kitsch nightclub.
I'm looking for some pills. Anyone can sort me out around? You can sort me out, can you? Excellent.
Next, I visited a club called Deluxe, where I met doorman Gary Haggerty.
Listen, are you alright for a couple of these?
Alright, yeah.
Excellent.
See me dealing. Or some tomorrow night as well.
You will, yeah. If I ever want any Charlie.
I don't know about a Charlie yet though, boss.
Okay, but I can always guarantee a couple of these.
Then I went to a hugely popular disco pub, The Fountain. On the door was Andy, with some exotically named ecstasy.
So, listen, the Riddler's very strong, isn't it?
Yeah, snort it in lines about that long.
Okay, okay. And roll the tango. How powerful is the tango? Okay, okay.
It's wicked. Honestly, it's trippy, it's wicked.
Is it?
Brilliant.
I'm going to be...
Snort the Riddler, half an hour later take the tango and watch the world go by.
So far, I'd managed to buy speed and ecstasy, and all from doormen who worked at licensed venues. But the real surprise was Darren. I met him at a bouncer's pub crawl. He told me he was in the drugs game. He was awaiting supplies. So I should come and see him at work. Work was at McDonald's, which at weekends stays open late for the clubbers. Darren talked willingly about his trade.
Listen, those tabs come in yet?
No, it ain't been in. It ain't been in yet. But when it comes in, I said I'll take it.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't seen no trip. Ages. This guy's got. I should get him. You know what I mean? I'll have him. I'll take a look at him.
I mean, how much, well, you said how much the trip, you can get them for about £1. You can sell them for £3.50.
£250 profit, innit? £100 layout. That's going to work, innit?
One big question remains. Who supplies the doormen with drugs? None of them are saying. But there's one major dealer who's well known to many of the boys on the doors. Wayne Hardy.
It's Wayne's town, it ain't my town. It's a lot more Wayne's town. I'm nobody compared to Wayne. I'm a little piece of shit. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Wayne will up, mate. You know what I mean? Wayne knows a hell of a lot more than us do. Hell of a lot more about who's doing, who's up to whatever. You know what I mean? Knows a hell of a lot more. Very, very well respected man around town. Very well.
There was no doubt that the link with Wayne stood me in good stead. I'd enjoyed a lot of respect myself when I told the other bouncers I'd been Wayne's training partner, and they opened up to me in ways they would never have done otherwise. The Wayne connection was invaluable when I decided to see if I could get beyond buying small amounts of drugs and negotiate bigger quantities. And this time it wasn't just speed or pills I was looking for. Now I wanted cocaine, or Charlie as it's known in the trade. I started at the Lizard Lounge. It caters for an older, more affluent clubber, the sort that might have more expensive tastes in drugs. If Charlie was on sale anywhere, it would be here.
Can you score Charlie in Lizard? Is it alright?
I can get Charlie.
Can you?
Not from there, but I can get Charlie, yeah.
Yeah.
Ask him.
Well, I'm really looking for a bit of... I need some Amfet. I need some Charlie.
What do you need Charlie for?
Well, I'd be keen to get you know, 50 quid's worth for tomorrow night. You know what I mean? Can you? Where'd I meet you? Meet you over in Lizard?
Well, the club, I'll bring you to it. You definitely want it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. Tony, by the way.
Simon.
Simon, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, thanks, mate.
This is Simon Morley, a long-time drug dealer and one of the best-known doormen in Nottingham. He was the head doorman at the Lizard Lounge. And if Charlie is your preference, Simon is your man.
But it's good, you reckon it's good stuff?
I don't reckon, I know, because I take it myself. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah. No, I hear
I'm
you.
not a man to chop it about too much. So if you get good stuff from people, they always come back to you.
So if I ever need any more, just pop up the Lizard, yeah?
No problem, mate. Yeah, I'll put that down. Brilliant, mate. When you come and see me again, I'll give you my number and everything.
Excellent, nice. And then, yeah, I give you absolutely, because it's nice to be able to know.
Yeah. All I get is that, and I get good weed.
How do you react when we can come to you and say that we've obtained drugs from doormen at your club?
Well, it shocked me immensely. I was extremely surprised to find that my security, who I had employed and had looked after, and I thought had policed my club, or clubs well, over the last few years, are involved in any kind of drug scene at all. I'm a licensee, I cannot afford to lose my business through drugs being sold on the premises.
There's a great concern about the places where young people learn their behaviour, and that includes particularly places where they socialise and where those places are not properly regulated, or they see the example of people being able to make a lot of money by breaking the law or by the use of violence or threats or intimidation. It certainly is giving the wrong message to young people, and it's another reason why it should be tackled as a matter of urgency.
The pubs and clubs where we filmed drug dealing were shocked by what we had discovered. Last week, all the bouncers we had caught were sacked or suspended. But the man most embarrassed will be the man whose company supplies them to so many pubs in the city. A man whose reputation spreads wide and who has become enormously wealthy by selling door security. Chris Bailey. But even more embarrassing to him will be what we learned about his manager, Gordon McLean, who gave me my door job in the first place and who keeps many bouncers supplied with illegal steroids. Because steroids are not Gordon McLean's only sideline. He also deals in high-quality speed.
Yeah. Are they regular users? Are they regular users?
Yeah.
This is, as ever with my mate, brilliant, alright.
Okay.
It's kind of purish.
Okay. It's the best.
Oh, it's the
excellent.
8 grams in here, right?
Okay.
It's 8 wraps.
Okay.
So he always looks after me and shit, so we've got a fair pounds there, right? But what I'm saying is, if there's anybody there that don't usually use it, make sure they don't have a gram each to start off with. I mean, it's my advice to you, it's entirely what you do.
No, absolutely.
Actually, where you go from, you don't know. I don't do this, right? Only if people come to me who I know, then I'll go and sort it. And
excellent,
I can get brilliant gear all the time if you want it.
Brilliant.
But don't come to me and don't let me say, it's brilliant, Tony, you get it, folks. This will blow your socks off.
Excellent.
But this is not my game. I don't make a penny out of it.
I know.
Pass this on to my mate.
Appreciate that. Brilliant.
Okay.
That's brilliant. Okay. It's the best.
Oh, it's...
Am I going to have a good time with it? It's 50 quid.
That's it. That's somebody will give it to me.
Excellent. Appreciate it.
I didn't have to go out of my way particularly. I mean, I just shot around there this afternoon and he got it all sorted and shit, no big deal. So I won't give it to him there. So but if you do it, if anybody asks, Tony, you can always say you can get some more. Don't mention my name.
No problems, mate.
And if anybody dies...
If anyone dies.
No.
Chris Bailey was not at all anxious to discuss it with us.
Mr. Bailey, we want to ask you about why some of your doormen are dealing drugs.
Not my doormen.
Mr. Bailey, Mr. Bailey, we just want to ask you about why some of your doormen are dealing drugs. Mr. Bailey, we'd like to ask you why some of your doormen are dealing drugs. Mr. Bailey, why...
Next week, how I infiltrated Wayne's World and saw a vicious drugs baron in action.
Let's get a little bit, if you can get a sample of it. Show him, see how many can make out of it. If he's making that money, then let's work out.
Mr. Hardy, how much money have you made from drugs in recent years, Mr. Hardy?